Hello and welcome to number 1 of the Beginner's Beekeeping video series. Today we're just going to be talking about how you're going to get started with beekeeping. Now what I would do is join your local association just so you can get a feel of what their bees are like and whether you're going to like beekeeping and getting stung. Now let's talk beyond that. When receiving your hives, you're probably going to get it in a Covex box or possibly what is called a nucleus. Now a nucleus is usually polystyrene. It contains 6 frames and it'll have bees in it. Now obviously you can't keep the bees inside this nucleus forever because once they get too big they are going to swarm. Videos will be out in the future about swarming and also nucleus hives. Okay, so we're going to run through all the different types of hives. First up we have the WBC hive. Then we have the hive that I prefer, the British National. Next we have the hive that is used mostly in the US, which is called the Langstroth hive. Finally we have the top bar hive, which isn't too common in the UK. Now the flow hive hasn't been featured, but a video is soon to come on the flow hive, and we're going to be showing you the flow hive that we keep in our apiaries. If you want to see the video of the flow hive, then make sure to subscribe. Now one big thing for the beekeeper is the looks of the hive, especially if it's going to be in your back garden. You're probably going to want it to look good. So usually people are going to think of the traditional WBC hive. A photo will come up here. Now the WBC hive, it looks amazing. However, it is quite expensive, a lot more than what is the national hive and even the Langstroth hive, but it does have 2 layers which could be a form of insulation. Now with WBCs being a potch, I would just stay away from them, although they look extremely good. If you paint up a national, which is what I advise you to go for, it will look just as good. Now if you're looking at this video in the UK, then the most popular hive is the British National. At the apiary, most of our hives are all British National, and they've done very well. Now a minority of our hives are also Langstroth. I would say there's nothing wrong with Langstroth other than the fact that the last frame with most of our Langstroth hives is usually very tight, which means you probably should just put a dummy board in the edge of it. Another thing with the Langstroth is the lugs on the side of the box. Once the super is full of honey, those lugs make it very hard to carry. And with the Langstroth you have quite deep lugs into the hive itself, which makes it nice and easy to carry with more grip. So that's another pro for the National. Now you can get National 14x12s. These National 14x12s, we never used them until last year, where we had a few colonies which we didn't want to put onto double brood or brood and a half, and we decided to buy a load of 14x12 brood boxes, and to be honest, I'm not a big fan. The frames are too big. It feels as if the wax foundation inside the frame is just going to fall out and collapse, and you don't want to have any issues with this frames while inspecting these bees, and I'm sure the bees wouldn't appreciate it if that foundation fell out. Now further videos will come about brood and about how the bees make honey using their glands and what queen cells there are. There's loads that goes on in the hive which will be brought to you all for free on this channel. So the brood box is where the brood is, the larvae and the eggs, and also the queen. The drones will also be underneath there, and on top of the brood box you will have what's called a queen excluder. Now the queen excluder stops the queen from going up into the supers, which are the boxes that go on top that contain the honey. Now the crown board goes on top of the supers, and then the roof goes on top of the crown board. Now proper videos of the hives will be coming very soon, but at the minute while I'm filming this I'm tucked up all cozy and warm in the house because it is very cold outside. Now talking about the winter, I've also written a blog about our days or our year as bee farmers. You can see this now on www.welsh-honey.com. Once buying that hive, you should have an open mesh floor. This allows them to clean the hive and they can just dump everything out. All the grainy stuff will come out the bottom, and they can push the bees out of the front of the hive. Roof wise, I would recommend you get a deep roof, just because once in the winter when you put your fondant on, you're not going to need a big thick eek. Now the eek is basically just a square that goes around the hive for when you put in things such as fondant on, and it basically gives you a bit more room. I'd like to thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video where we talk about the different equipment that you're going to need in order to be a beekeeper.